Good day, everyone. We are the reporter of the topic Developing ICT-Based Desired Learning Plans. I am Wenelin Villarin.
And I am Christy Andre Balde.
I am Krisha Marie Isirami.
Why is planning important in teaching? Planning is important in teaching as it ensures learning progression and subject learning and also in the general capabilities of the curriculum. Through planning, you will be able to better manage student boredom in the classroom, which leads to behavior issues and more classroom engagement strategies are needed. Planning ensures that all students learn, yet one of the most difficult things which you have to face as a teacher is being able to plan ICT activities that develop student ICT capabilities. The most effective way to develop student ICT capabilities is to provide them with meaningful activities embedded in purposeful subject-related contexts.
What do you need to consider when you plan on using ICT for teaching and learning? Using ICT in the classroom requires planning, which is a little more complex. It is one of the primary teacher's major issues, planning ICT activities that can help the children develop their ICT capabilities and ICT literacy. While ICT in the primary classroom has many benefits, it is vital that when you are planning the use of ICT that you consider the following as a good strategy for the use of ICT in teaching and learning.
And here are some things for you to consider when you want to plan for ICT for teaching and learning in your classroom. The first one you need to consider is, have you conducted a thorough analysis of the situation? Effective teaching depends on effective planning, and this in turn relies heavily on you conducting a thorough analysis of the situation. For there to be an optional lesson with ICT, you need to have clear learning goals, provide a supportive social context for learning, enable students to engage in the learning process in a number of different ways, help students contextualize the content in terms of their own experience and knowledge, and the last one is, and be willing to modify learning tasks in the light of students' circumstances. And here are the two circumstances you need to consider in conducting a thorough analysis of the situation. The first is, understand how students learn with ICT. Before you even begin to plan on using ICT for teaching, it is vital that you understand how your students learn with ICT. You must learn how to match the ICT resource to the intended learning and how ICT relates to other case skills. Number 2, decide on the role you want ICT to play in the activity. Do you want the students to use the ICT in the activity to develop their ICT capability, or to support learning in another area of the curriculum, or both? Ultimately, you should aim to have students use ICT to support the subject context learning while remaining transparent in the background and developing their ICT capability.
Second thing for you to consider when you want to plan for using ICT for teaching and learning in your classroom, are there opportunities for you to assess children's ICT competence? Good planning should create assessment opportunities because good assessment informs good planning. In assisting children's ICT competence, it should cover all your bases. Use a range of further questioning to consider things such as the knowledge about children's existing knowledge, cross-curricular links, and any constraints on yourself when planning to use ICT. Second opportunity for you to assess children's ICT competence are reflect on the impact of learning styles in education and the role of ICT within them. The main problem is not only the abundance of models, but also the competing benefits of successful use. ICT has the capability to provide high-quality visual and auditory materials. However, the justification for their use should not just be that they match a single learning style.
Planning for integration of ICT in teaching and learning. There are 4 steps which you need to consider every time you decide to include the use of ICT activities in your lessons. The first step is determine the ICT teaching objectives for the planning period every year or every term or half term. The second step is clarify key topics for each subject for the planning period. The third step is identify opportunities for ICT within each subject. And the fourth step, which is the last, select and adapt the ICT projects which are most appropriate for teaching the ICT objectives with the subject context.